The murder trial of a mother from Stockton Springs who allegedly beat and killed her daughter started today.
This morning's opening statements were, in one word, emotional. Sharon Carrillo crying loudly as the state detailed the alleged abuse Sharon and her husband Julio Carrillo inflicted on 10-year-old Marissa Kennedy. State prosecutors say Sharon is just as responsible as Julio, even though he pleaded guilty to murder and has been sentenced. The defense says Sharon was also being abused by Julio. They argue that because Sharon has a lower IQ than 98% of the population, she went along with the abuse of her daughter and went along with Julio's story to police.
People who have extremely low IQ are more susceptible to being put in a situation where they make admissions of involvement that aren't true.
She told Detective Andrews during that interview that she and Julio beat Marissa to death. And you're going to see that video.
Now, this trial is expected to last a couple of weeks due to the number of witnesses that will be called.
Both the prosecution and defense have close to 100 witnesses on their lists.
It's been 22 months now since this heartbreaking story began.
So how did we get here? News Center Maine's Zach Blanchard gives us the timeline.
It all started on February 25th, 2018. Marissa Kennedy dies at a home in Stockton Springs. The 10-year-old was brutally beaten.
She's turning purple and puking blood.
Hours later, her mother and stepfather, Sharon and Julio Carrillo, are arrested and charged with murder after telling police they abused Marissa for months. On March 9th, an investigation is launched into Maine's Department of Health and Human Services when officials find concerns had been reported to Maine's child welfare system. Then, May 20th, Marissa's grandfather, Joe Kennedy, speaks out only to News Center Maine, sharing his heartache.
We'll never see her again. Just a pain I wouldn't wish on anybody.
Just days after the first findings from that investigation are released, showing systemic failures with DHHS. After legal proceedings, including asking for separate trials for Sharon and Julio Carrillo, fast forward to July 22nd, 2019, Julio Carrillo pleads guilty. He was then sentenced to 55 years in prison in August. Months later, December 4th, a judge finds Sharon Carrillo competent enough to stand trial, despite attorneys insisting she is mentally delayed. And today, is she a murderer or a victim? The trial begins.